All right, today we are revealing our deepest, darkest secrets by sharing our budget with you.
This is intimidating, but here we go.
We're gonna dive into our budget, share the exact categories that we're using.
And the reason we're doing this is because I feel like people so often just ask, like, how much do you spend on groceries? And it's like, well, it depends on where you live, Yeah. But it's helpful just to get a ballpark for what other people are doing, I think, sometimes.
Yeah, and I'll just say this up front, we're weird. We're just weird.
But everybody's weird.
And
we have
is.
to add luxury ice to this, too, because you're into that now.
Okay. Yeah.
But yes, everybody has their thing that they want to spend money on that everybody else is like, are you serious?
Yeah.
And that's okay. So don't judge us too harshly.
So we're weird. Just know that we're weird as we go through this. And you're probably weird too in your own way. But still, hopefully it'll be helpful just to see how we're doing some things.
Yeah.
And actually, I guess it was our budget from a couple years ago. This was a lesson that we shot, or bonus lesson that we shot for our Real Money Method, plus package students, where we created a handful of different budget case studies. Some of our students, Linda and I, we went through a budget line by line, showed what we're actually doing, how much, and the breakdown and why, all these different things. And so I'm going to go ahead and share ours in this right here. So I'm going to drop you into that lesson, let you see and hear. If you're listening to this podcast, it might be good to, you might want to watch it on YouTube. We'll have a link so you can check it out on YouTube if you'd like.
Yeah, and the other thing is, we spend our money based off of our preferences. So
So we're kind of weird. So I'm
don't
just throwing that out there.
Don't judge us too harshly. But I mean, the idea is not for you to take our budget and spend your money the exact same way that we do, right? Like, it is to just give you an idea of how we look at things and where we put our money. You can see where we put our money is what's more important to us. So take that for what it's worth.
Yeah, I mean, and the fact is,
apply it to your own situation.
Yeah, like when I was doing some consulting with some higher income couples, and one of the most common things I heard is like, how does everybody else do it? Like, because they had grown their income, come from not having a lot of income to now having like a really good paying job or something, and there just was this sense of, how's everybody else doing it? Am I doing it right? Is it like, are we doing the right amounts? And so anyway, so that's why I'm doing this, because I think it might be helpful just to get a peek and see how we're doing things. Because I would like it too, and so that's part of selfishly why we did some of these case studies. And if you ever want us to do a case study on yours, on your budget,
interesting,
let me know. Send me an email, bob@seedtime.com, and we could possibly do that. Especially if you're a real money student. We'll get into that later. But anyway, with all that, should we dive in, or is there anything else we need to talk about?
Yeah, let's do it.
I think that's it. All right, so I'll drop you in. So we're going to look at our budget breakdown. We're going to use ourselves as a case study, and so you can see our actual budget and how we're doing it and what our decisions are that we're making. Up front, I will just tell you that a lot of things that we're doing are unconventional, just because over the years, like, our financial situation has just changed a lot. And so this budget looks very different than it did when we first started budgeting. And maybe we should do one.
It's changed several times.
That might be interesting. Anyway, we'll get to that later, but I think that might be fun to do one from when we first got married.
Yeah.
If we can, I think we should be able to find most of that data. But anyway, this is where we are now, and let's get to it.
I love that you've kept all that. 14 years.
Yeah. All right. So here we go. And so this is the sheet that we have in the course. And so, so you can fill out this exact same spreadsheet, and I recommend doing that. And this is part of the course, of course.
Can we change the colors if they want?
And you can change the colors, So once you come in here, you should be able to change everything. But we're not going to get into that now. You can play with that later. I know that's your favorite thing. So in our case, we have a monthly income. We take one paycheck from our business, and the take home for that is $72.38. And so this is our monthly kind of income that we're working off of. And so as we build up this case study library, there will be others who have more, hopefully, and then less. And so you can see a variety of different things here. But in our case, this is our income that we're bringing home each month. And so this is what our budget is based off of. So now, as we get down to the housing expenses, and thankfully, by the grace of God,
Woohoo!
we do not have a mortgage. And so that's another thing that's pretty unconventional and makes our situation a little bit different. But we are paying $150 a month in HOA dues. And then we have about $100 a month. And this kind of fluctuates depending on where we are with our budget that we have for home maintenance and home improvement, stuff like that. And so anyway, now that we're down to kind of the transportation area, we don't have any car loans. We paid those off a long time ago. So our biggest expense here is gas, which is, somewhere around $150 a month. And then we're saving some money for repairs. And those are our main transportation expenses. Sometimes we're saving additional money for the next car, and it's because we like to buy all of our cars with cash. And so we'll be saving money in here for that as well. With health stuff, we just kind of have all this rolled up into one general category for $200 a month. Utilities, these are all just pretty standard. I mean, nothing
exciting.
Nothing really that exciting here, but those are kind of our figures for that. For spending money, this is something that we realized really early on.
Yeah, this is a marriage saver here.
It was a big deal. Like this made
It's basically an allowance. And we each get our allowance, and we can spend it on as many Chick-fil-A peppermint milkshakes as we want.
Yeah, the marriage saving aspect of this is that we each have money that we can do whatever we want with. We don't have to ask each other. We don't have to.
It's discretionary.
We don't get in
money.
fights about it because I don't care how many milkshakes you buy from Chick-fil-A, and you don't care how much money I spend.
But if it was coming out of the grocery budget
at Lowe's,
there would be a fight.
Well. Not necessarily, because we've matured a little bit, but it'd be more likely.
I don't know.
And so
I don't know if we've matured that much.
So this is really helpful
Found a way around it.
Just having separate spending money. And I know some couples do this with separate checking accounts, and that's fine.
This is a game changer.
But however you do it. Anyway, but we do it all in one checking account and just have it as budgeting categories, and it works. It's easier.
Yep.
We have $100 a month for kids stuff, and this would be buying kids clothes. This would be, I don't know, whatever other kid stuff, right?
Yeah.
Early on, do you want to talk about this one?
So,
this is kind of a funny category.
One of our pastors at church who does like all the premarital counseling, we're talking to him, and he said, one of the things I always tell new husbands or future husbands, is you don't know how much women cost. And he's got this real southern drawl. And I was like, yes. Like, I remember just having this discussion, maybe loud discussion when we first got married, because you got to buy makeup. You got to buy the stuff to wash your makeup off. You got to buy, all these things to keep yourself beautiful, color your hair, your blow dryer goes out, you have to buy it. Like, he doesn't have any of this. He doesn't ever think about it. Even something as simple as a hair dryer, he's never really thought about that. Yeah,
and coming back to when we first got married, we didn't have two nickels to rub together, and we were trying to pay off all this debt that we had. And so we were cutting everything. Our grocery budget was $45 a week. Like, we were cutting like crazy. And so my first thought was, cutting
just get
all.
Rid of it. And I was like,
so
listen here, man, that's not going to work if we want to stay married.
So we worked on we created a category called Cute Face. And
he called it Cute Face.
This very much sounds like a 23-year-old newlywed thing to say. And that's what it is. We just haven't renamed it.
That's exactly what it is.
But anyway, so that is
it's funny
all of
too
that
now because
stuff.
you're like, how do you want to pay for that? I'm like, just take it out of Cute Face.
Yeah. All right. So in the entertainment category, this is eating out, and this honestly also covers babysitters. And sometimes I will pull money out of my own spending money for us to go on a date and stuff like that.
Me too.
Yeah, both of us. But in general, this is most of the kind of entertainment stuff comes out of here. Vacation fund. This is also kind of like a little bit of miscellaneous savings, but yeah, we just like to regularly be saving for vacations, and those expenses. All right, so this is our biggest category by far, our grocery category.
Well, first of all, we should say we have 3 kids, and they eat a lot.
Yeah,
They're good eaters.
I'm sure I think most kids probably do. But
Some
the
kids
3
do.
that we have eat a lot.
Eat a lot.
By our standards. And on top of that, we are pretty clean eaters. You know, I know you can eat a lot cheaper if you buy tons and tons of processed food, and it's just not our preference. And, you know, we view it as an investment in our health.
Yeah.
And so...
we've just chosen this.
So, yeah, it's an expensive... We have a pretty high budget for groceries, but, yeah, this is where we are. All right, and then now we have household items.
So this is like
$2.75.
toilet paper and toothpaste. And
Everything you get at Target, right?
yes, Target
That
stuff.
type of stuff. Okay, now to giving. This is actually our biggest category, which is fun. And so we have tithing, we have other giving and stuff kind of all rolled up in here. And yeah, like one of the things, if you're not familiar with our story, but one of the things that we've been doing is giving our age as a percentage of our income for the last 6 or 7 years, in which not having a mortgage makes this possible, or a little bit easier.
And not having a car payment.
Yeah, so like this was one of our big motivations for
Yes.
paying off our debt, was to be able to have more money to give, and so that's you know, why we have so much here, because this is a really important thing to us to just be giving as much as we possibly can.
Yeah.
No pets right now. We used to have a doggie. She just died
May she rest in
recently.
peace.
Linda gave her to Linda's mom, and she died not too long ago.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad, but we used to have a pet, but not anymore. All right, and this is all insurance stuff, homeowners, auto, health, all that stuff. It's all kind of rolled up into one big thing for us.
Yeah.
And then real estate taxes, personal property taxes, blah, blah, blah.
It comes every year.
Yeah, this is just an important one to be ready for, like
Yeah.
to pay that personal property tax bill if you have that, you know, and then no credit cards or anything that we need to pay on right now. For our little kids, we're paying some tuition bills and things like that. We're doing a little bit to a college fund, which I actually am really close to stopping this saving, but that's for another video for another time.
Well, it can be for their wedding if we don't end up needing
Well,
it
it's
for
not
college.
if it's in a 529.
Oh.
Yeah, it can only be used for educational expenses. So anyway, that's a discussion for another time that we can get into.
Talk about
But
that
for the
later.
time being, we are still contributing to our kids' college fund. And so that is it. That's our breakdown of everything. And that leaves us with just a little bit of an overage here. So these are our income, these are expenses. And,
It's like a tiny little sliver.
well, it's supposed to be zero. It's a zero-based budget. That's the whole point.
Okay. Wait, where is all that extra money? Because I have plans for it.
No, I'm sure you do. And so this is a visual representation. And so if
Pie
you hover
chart.
over this pie chart, you can see what each one of these categories are and how it breaks down over the course of, I guess this is the year in this case. So that's our budget, and hope this helps.
Okay, so thanks for watching and listening. Hopefully you don't think we're too weird at this point, and then you'll still come back to hear other things we have to say.
Yeah, and
But-
and being honest, like our budget has shifted since that point. We've adapted. We run our own business, and so there's the normal ebbs
and
and
downs.
flows, ups and downs,
Yeah.
and so we're regularly. I feel like every year or so we're making some sort of tweak or change to our budget. But this was actually recorded in 2020. That's when we did this one. So that's where we were then, and
Yeah, and so if you want to see more case studies that we have, because like Bob said earlier, we have a few other ones in there.
we have a handful in our Real Money Plus package.
And the Real Money Plus package. So, and I know that that's helpful for a lot of people, right?
Yeah. All right, so before we go, should we do a review?
Yeah, I think we should
somebody-
do a review of Real Money.
Yeah.
Because, like, we're talking
All right, let me
about it
find one real quick.
in this episode. And honestly, like, this is one of my favorite things that we have ever done, just because this is something that we use, like, literally, you and I use this every single day. And so it just is, to me, it was life-changing. We tried a whole lot of budgeting methods, and a lot of them failed us. And not only that, but it took me out of the equation to where it was like too big of a mess for me to figure out. So I just had to say, Bob, this is your problem now. And this is the only thing that I've been able to be engaged with this whole time. So to me, that's why this is super important.
And for anybody who doesn't know, I'll just give you a brief explanation of our real money method. So essentially, like you said, we tried all the different budgeting tools and apps and whatever, and nothing worked for both of us together as a team. And that, if you're married, you know that that's important. And anyway, being the nerd that I am, I'm like, all right, let's try to figure out a solution to this. So we created a non-traditional approach using our banks to kind of, create our own spending plan, budget, whatever you want to call it, that allowed us to not have to use cash envelopes, not have to have any apps that we're paying every month for.
Yeah.
Just get rid of all of that stuff and just simplify everything.
When you say apps, you mean budgeting apps.
Yeah, budgeting apps and all that stuff.
Not like Netflix.
Not like Netflix. You can keep Netflix. And so anyway, so that's the gist of it. And it's a method that we've been using for many, many years now. That was the first thing that we're both like, we're in complete unison on. It's made our lives easier and we save time and all this stuff. And we're now pushing 2,000 students that have gone through it, and it's just been amazing, kind of watching what God has done in their lives. So if you don't have any sort of money management budget thing,
or if you have something and it's not working,
or if you're using something and you're like, you keep getting frustrated because it just stops, whatever. Like we were so many times.
Or if your spouse is not on board.
Yeah. Like this.
These are all reasons.
This is one of those things. But anyway, let's read this review. This is from Krista De Silva. She's one of our students who left us recently.
Her title says Life-Changing Budgeting Method. I agree. Okay, she says, I'm finally able to stay on top of my personal finances. This course has helped me to better understand and control how I use my money. If you're struggling to control where your money goes, I would totally recommend you invest in this life-changing course. Awesome.
Thank you, Krista. So because we have your name, Krista, and because you're a student, we're going to send you an Amazon gift card for leaving us a review.
Thank you, Krista.
And so, if you haven't gotten the picture yet, we like giving gift cards out and blessing people who leave us reviews.
Yes.
Because reviews are a blessing to us and they help us. So, feel free to leave a review for anything you'd like. For the book, Simplify Your Rich Life, for the podcast, if you're enjoying the podcast, for any of our courses, anything you'd like to leave a review for, and you might just be the next one who gets an Amazon gift card. With that, hope you have a great day, and we'll see you soon.
We really love creating fresh content for you each week, but if you have not checked out our book, Simple Money, Rich Life, this really is our best work, and we have some free resources we want to tell you about.
So if you enjoy listening to our soothing voices, then you can download Chapter 1 of the audiobook.
And if you prefer to read, we have the first 2 chapters of the ebook version.
Or we even have a 5-week book study outline based on this book. You can download all of this for free at seedtime.com/sample.